Halo, halo, siema, dzień dobry. Witam wszystkich oglądających na YouTube. Oglądamy sobie, słuchajcie, zapowiedź Ligi do PoE i zaraz obczajamy, co my tutaj mamy ciekawego. Ma być coś o Druidzie, będą duże zmiany, dużo ludzi, kurwa, liczy na walowane dżemy, ale mi się wydaje, że to byłby zbyt, kurwa, duży update, chociaż ten update ma być ogromny, podobno.
Path of Exile 2, and welcome to GGG Live. Today we're going to show you an exclusive reveal for what's coming next for Path of Exile 2.
Ja tylko zaznaczam, to jest bez patch note'ów jeszcze, bez liczby, nie?
So you'll be able to claim
Konkretnych.
your Verdant Wild's dodge roll effect by following the instructions below.
O, i są dropy
Now
włączone
today
też.
it's finally time to show off a new class that we know everyone in
Nowa
the community's
klasa.
been waiting for. So let's roll the trailer for Path of Exile 2, The Last of the Druids.
Let's go, let's go. Trailerek. Budzisz się na plaży. Każda dobra gra się budzić na plaży, tylko tu w lesie.
Well.
Aha. Well. No nie gadaj, że mi tak będzie zaczynać transmisję.
I asked you a question.
Kurwa! No nie! No nie!
What's wrong with him? He's lost his bloody mind.
Fajnie, że oni w ogóle te cinematyki robią na silniku. Mi się to bardzo podoba. One przez to, jak są w tej pierwszej osobie albo w trzeciej osobie, nie w życiu izometrycznym, to widać, że te modele są troszkę, kurwa, gorszej jakości. Że to nie jest jakiś taki, kurwa, cinematik najwyższego lotu, ale nadal to wygląda bardzo dobrze. Ale generalnie PoE, oni świetnie, kurwa, kolory ogarniają. Wizja artystyczna PoE dwójki to jest, kurwa, topka. O kurwa, ty casterski. Hybryda taka będzie? O kurwa. Wyverna, ale hybryda. Weźcie to pod uwagę, że shapeshifty to nie są przypisane tylko do druida, przecież to jest PoE. Ciekawe jakie będą. Jak to jest Wyverna, jakaś taka pod elementy, to jak ona będzie wyglądała na jakiejś czarodziejce albo czymś takim. Ta liga może mieć naprawdę bardzo mocne
Now, as you
zmiany.
can see, the Druid is a shape-shifting elemental spellcaster. After his fellow Druids were destroyed by the King in the Mists, the Druid lost his humanity in the forests of Ogham, where he wandered for years as a beast. Now, finally reawakened, he's determined to find his lost wife and regain his humanity. The Druid has been one of the hardest classes for us to design. As well as having human spells, he has 3 animal forms, and we wanted to make sure that there were interesting
Hybrydową
combos
klasę.
between all of them. The Druid is our first
Kurwa,
hybrid strength
jak
and
oni
intelligence class.
bazują
That
na
means
tym,
he
że
needs
on
to have the
będzie
ability to
działał
use
na
spells and
kombosach
attacks.
pomiędzy.
As a human, the Druid typically uses magical staves to harness the
To
powers of
żeby
the
nie
earth and
skończył
the
jak
natural world.
czarodziejka w ostatniej lidze, że
One
trzeba
of the
całe
first skills you
pianino
will learn is the
rozegrać, żeby
ability to
jakiś
create small
deps ogarnąć.
volcanoes from the earth. This skill spits out balls of
Volcano z
magma at
Diablo
your
2.
enemies, and will continue to do so for
Jest,
some
to
time.
kurwa super.
While the volcano is active,
Ciekawe,
turn into
czy
an animal and wade into melee
jakieś
range.
projectile
Many of the
bonus by
skills
na
you
to
use as a
działały.
human last for a significant period of time, giving you a good chance to turn into an animal and rage out.
Myślicie,
But
że
how
to
do you
będzie
turn
miało
into
tak
an animal, you may
projectile?
ask? Well, the answer is a new weapon type that druids use,
Talizmany.
animal talismans. When you equip an animal talisman, you can choose which animal form you would like the talisman to represent.
Okej.
Depending on what you choose, you'll be given that animal's basic attack as a new skill to equip. For a bear, that's maul. To turn into a bear,
Slam
simply
czy
use
nie?
the skill.
Pokaż.
Your character will instantly transform
Nie,
into a bear
swipe.
and attack. If you want to change back to a human, just cast a spell. You will instantly swap back and cast it.
O
We
kurwa!
wanted to make sure that
Nie ma
swapping
delayu
between forms was
pomiędzy
seamless
tym.
and immediate. Changing forms should be something that you do without even thinking about it
O
all the time.
kurwa,
in battle.
zajebiście!
In order to allow for hybrid melee and caster gameplay, most of the skills you use in your human form last for some time and aid your animal skills in some way. The
Ale
volcano we
jestem
used
ciekawy,
earlier will
jak
emit
te
more molten
talizmany by
balls
na
when you
innych
hit it
klasach
with a slam,
siadły. Jakie one w
making it
ogóle
perfect for
fiksy
use with
mają.
your bear form's furious slam. While
Nie
in
wiem,
bear
czy jest
form,
tu już jakieś
many
stata
of your abilities
minowane.
use rage. There are a lot of ways to generate rage, but the easiest one is simply smash your enemies with maul. Once you see the runes on your back glowing, it means you have enough rage to do a much more devastating version of your furious slam. Your bear form can also go on a rampage, stomping the ground as you demolish your foes.
Przyjemne, jak Primal Beast z
The
Doty.
more rage you have, the longer the rampage lasts, and doing it over a volcano makes it even better. As you consume rage, your bear form will generate endurance charges, and these can be used with skills like Ferocious Roar.
Fajnie wygląda
Ferocious
niedźwiedź.
Roar is a war cry that empowers your subsequent attacks to break your opponent's armor. The more endurance charges you have when you use it, the more empowered attacks you will gain.
Ale
But
to jest
Ferocious
ciekawe
Roar has another
z
special feature
bieganiem,
too.
kurwa, w
It's
tych
a meta
formach.
gem that allows you to socket any Warcry gem from another class into it, giving you the ability to use these skills as a bear.
O!
Use the
Normalnie, kurwa, te
Warrior's Infernal
rory
Cry
i
skill to make your enemies
szałty
explode.
można różne przypisywać. Też fajne w chuj. Modularne, że to jest.
Or use Seismic Cry to stun your enemies and double up the number of slams you do.
Kurwa, to warriorowe, ja nie mam pojęcia w ogóle,
You
jak
can even
wygląda
use
ta
it with Ancestral
rozgrywka.
Call, a skill that turns you into the fire god Kaun. Ever wondered what the Karui god of war would look like if he was a bear? Well, wait no longer.
O kurwa.
Finally, build up enough rage and you can use one of the bear's ultimate abilities, Walking Calamity. The
Bardzo
skill
ładnie
summons a storm
czytali.
of fire around you for some time,
Te
while
efekty
generating even more rage to
cząsteczkowe,
power your other
post-processing,
abilities.
PoE 2
A
to
true
jest
bear
topka,
apocalypse.
kurwa.
Now, the bear is known for being a slower and more lumbering animal, with slower attacks and heavy slams. But what if you want to turn into something a little more nimble? Well, let's check out the second animal form for the druid, wolf form.
Wilk.
For the wolf form, we want it to go fast and furious. Even just the wolf's basic attack will leap forward and rake his foes. After attacking, the wolf stands up on two legs, but after running for a short time, he goes back on all fours, allowing to move more quickly between
Kurwa,
packs
stary,
of
to jest
enemies.
przecież Diablo 2, kurwa.
The wolf has a lot of cold attacks based on his association with the moon, and the first of these is Lunar Assault. It's great for freezing your enemies in place.
Holdowy.
After they're frozen, use your basic rake attack to knock shards of ice off your enemies, which land on the ground nearby and explode.
Fajnie, że taki zero DPS
If you want to
build,
get
nie?
into battle quickly, you can use your pounce attack. This skill leaps at a target and applies a mark to them.
Kurwa.
Killing the marked enemy will summon a wolfman into your side, allowing them to fight with you. Mark and kill as many enemies as you can to build up a sizable pack. While an enemy is marked, your wolves will prioritize that target and do more damage the more wolves you have. So make sure you keep your pack strong. Now, one problem you might run into is your wolf pack dying in boss fights. You often don't have any enemies that you can mark and kill in order to regenerate your pack. To deal with this problem, you can use Cross Slash. Cross Slash jumps backwards and does a vicious double slash. Any marks on your target explode and triggers their abilities. This allows you to pounce to mark an enemy and then summon a wolf even without killing it. Cross Slash also has another feature though. Remember those
Ładny
ice
ten
fragments from
efekt,
before? Well, Cross Slash will propel any ice shards on the ground towards its central target. First, freeze your enemies with Lunar Assault. Then rake them to create as many ice fragments as you can. Then
Kurwa,
follow up
ale
with Cross Slash to generate a
widzicie,
field
że
of
oni
icy
cały
explosions
czas
to
idą w
obliterate
tą
your enemies.
wizję jakiegoś combo gameplayu, łączenia kilku rzeczy, położenie ściany,
If they're
zniszczenia,
still alive after
zniszczenia
that,
ściany,
your
nie?
pack of wolves can finish them off.
Jonathan, on nie odpuści, kurwa, tego. Nie odpuści.
Just like with the bear's raw skill earlier that allows you to use skills from other classes, Pounce is also a meta gem that you can socket mark skills from other classes into.
No, gracze potem i
So
tak
for
one
example,
skill
you
builda
might
chcą
want to
mieć,
try
nie?
adding freezing mark from the monk to Pounce. After pouncing at an enemy, cross slash to explode the mark and gain extra cold damage for a time. The wolf has many other ways to go all in
Kurwa,
on cold.
powiem wam, że ogólnie
Using the Arctic Howl Walker will allow
zastanawiam
you to
się,
add
jak
cold
ludzie na
damage and
tego
chill
wilka
ground to any
zareagują,
slam,
tak głęboko
while buffing
siedzący
your
w
pack of
PoE,
wolves as well.
bo
You
tu
can also use it to freeze enemies
dużo
that are
mówią
close
o
to being
kombowaniu
frozen,
tych speli,
making it much faster to use your other combos.
a oni...
Finally, the
im
wolf
się
also has the
obrywało
ability
trochę
to
za
call
to,
down the
że
power of the moon
zmuszają ludzi
to
do takiego
transform into
combo
an Arctic
gameplayu.
werewolf with Lunar Blessing. In this form, you move and attack more quickly and deal extra cold damage. Consuming Rage will extend the duration of your Arctic Wolf form, so you could try a hybrid bear and wolf build if you want to utilize the skill.
Nie,
to its
ogólnie
full effect.
niedźwiedź moim zdaniem wygląda w chuj lepiej. Totalnie w chuj lepiej wygląda niedźwiedź. No ale kurwa, to też jest postać pewnie na... Jezu, co jest kurwa z tym playerem? Na jakiejś podstawowej broni i zastanawiam się jakby... Aha, kurwa.
Wyvern is rend. Jump forward into combat and slash your enemies with your lethal talons. If they're close to being stunned, you can blow them off balance with a blast from your wings, causing an explosion of damage. After the battle, though, it's time to feed. Devour the corpses of monsters to create power charges, and this is when the Wyvern's abilities really come online. When using Rend, you can consume a power charge to charge up your wings with lightning. Not only does this do a bunch of damage, but it allows you to turn this melee skill into a much larger AoE attack. Once your wings are charged, your wing blast will also do lightning explosions for even more
kurwa, no
damage.
to jest strasznie wolne. Jak to będzie na
If
itemach
your enemies are
wyglądało,
close to
nie?
death, no need to wait for them to actually die. When you see this blue marker, just devour them alive. Fresh meat is much tastier after all. Alright, so those are some melee options, but how about range? Well, you wouldn't be much of a dragon if you couldn't breathe fire after all. Rolling magma is the first of the Wyvern's breath attacks. Spit balls of fire that bounce along the ground. These balls will trigger volcanoes as well, so it's a good idea to cast one as a human right before you start spitting.
Kurwa, taki elemental build pod ogień, pod
You have something a
Ignite'a bardzo mi się
little
podoba.
nastier in that gullet of yours. Spitting a barrage of oil at your enemies will
Ale
cover
ta
them in a
Wyvern
viscous
jest
sludge that makes them
ogromna.
easier to ignite.
Ciekawy jestem, jak ona ma duży hitbox
If you have power
postaci, żeby nie
charges,
było
though,
jakiegoś
plant
problemu
your
z
wings on the ground
poruszaniem
and
się
vomit a
tu.
barrage of lightning-infused projectiles.
Czy
The
ona...
more power charges you have, the longer you can do this
Ale
for.
ona w ogóle
But make sure you keep
przepchała
your foes at
postaci,
range.
widzieliście?
You're vulnerable to melee attacks while channeling this skill.
I mnie bardzo
In order
ciekawi,
to
jaka
help with that,
kolizja
let's
na
take a
niej
quick
jest,
diversion back to some
bo
of
nie
your
wiem, czy
human abilities.
pamiętacie,
As a druid
był
of scope,
ogromny
you have the
problem z
ability to
kolizją na
harness the power
0.1
of
i to
nature
zmienili
to create
po
entangling
pierwszych kilku
vines to
dniach w
slow down your
ogóle.
enemies. Another of nature's punishments is the thunderstorm. Creating one of these will create periodic strikes of lightning from the sky and will also make your enemies wet. Why is that useful? Well, of course, things that are wet are easier to shock. Use it with lightning damage from your wyvern form to enhance your damage. Making things wet also makes them easier to freeze, so it works nicely with your wolf form as well. And you know what else likes water? Plants. Water your plants to give them various extra abilities.
Kiszak w poprzedniej lidze moim zdaniem, kurwa, przez te efekty były on-groundowe, które się robiły w 03 były niegrywalne. Mnie to tak kurwiało. Ty! To jest skill z Lasty Boka zajebany.
Now then, with our enemies sufficiently subdued
Dosłownie,
with our
kurwa,
plants, time to really
tego,
lay into
jak
them
to się
with our
nazywało? Chaos
lightning-infused
Fissure?
barrage.
A ciekawe, czy to ma chaos damage w ogóle,
Now,
te
this
planty.
last wyvern ability is just ridiculous, but we
Bardzo,
felt
kurwa,
like we had to do
podobny.
it. Use flame breath to take to the skies and rain down a stream of fire on your enemies. You have wings, so you have to take full advantage of them after all. So fly around and
Podoba
burn
mi się ta Wyverna, ale no kurwa, no te cast-time'y, to jak ona się porusza, to jest dramatyczne, jak to na itemach wygląda, to kurwa będzie ciekawe.
Now there are a few other skills we didn't cover. but
Ale
there's one in
kurwa,
particular that I think will
to ja
open up a
bardziej
lot of
myślę,
doors.
żeby zagrać tą
Spell
Wyvernę,
totems.
ale na jakiś kurwa
Spell totems are
ten,
meta gems
sorceressa
that
albo
create a
witch, co
totem
nie?
that will automatically cast any spell in the game for a time. In
O,
order to create one, you will need to spend 3 endurance or 3 power charges. You could use them to throw fireballs, summon
spendery
comets,
robią.
or shower the area in lightning. Really, the options are kind of endless. Your bear form can easily generate endurance charges by consuming rage, and your wyvern form can easily create power charges by eating corpses. So it's pretty easy for the druid to get the charges needed, but they're also available from quite a few other places as well. I'm sure
kurwa,
we'll be
ale
seeing a lot of different spellcaster
jesteście
classes
fanem
thinking about how
tego,
best
że
to take
musisz
advantage of
zjadać
these.
zwłoki, żeby generować chargesy?
Now, of course, along with a new class comes a bunch of new support gems.
Ja pierwsze
We've
o
added
czym
over
myślę, to
30
jak to
new supports throughout the
zautomatyzować.
game.
Pod
But I'll show
jakim
you a
to
few
jest
of the cool
skillem, czy
ones
dało
here.
radę by to jakkolwiek
Fan the
zautomatyzować.
flames can be added to
Bo
any
mi się
wind
to nie
skill to spread
podoba.
fire from one
Że
ignited
musisz
enemy to
zniszczyć
other
grupę,
enemies behind you.
zjeść, żeby wygenerować
It's great for the
chargesy, nie?
wyvern's wing blast. We can also use it on many other
To
classes with
tylko
wind skills.
problematyczne, ale jak
The
to
twisters
będzie
on the
podpięte
huntress,
jako skill,
or
to
the
może
monk's
będzie się to
staggering
dało
palm
jakoś
projectile.
automatyzować. Może właśnie będzie jakiś
Accelerated
support.
growth causes extra explosive plants to erupt from the ground whenever you grow plants with rain. And Advancing Storm changes storm skills like your Thunderstorm
Dla mnie
or
feature'y
Tornado
PoE 2
to move
są
across the
zmiany
battlefield.
totalnie, kurwa.
It's great for watering plants in
I
mass,
tak mnie irytowało granie, kurwa,
or to turn
feature'ami.
tornadoes into a real disaster by sucking up multiple ground effects as they travel along. And the Sorceress might like to use it with Firestorm as well. Echoing Cry causes your Warcry skills to echo. They will repeat a couple more times with a delay after you use them, giving you more empowered attacks. Use it for the Druid's animal form Warcries, or on the Warrior for a nice power boost.
Warcry to tam mnie nie interesuje.
Grounding Shocks causes monsters you shock to turn into living Tesla coils, arcing lightning to nearby enemies. You could use it with your empowered wings for an extra damage boost, but it's also great with any other shocking skill. Try it out with Lightning Spear. It obviously needed more AoE clear. There's a whole pile more, but we'll leave those for you to discover. Now with a new class comes new ascendancy classes. The Druid will have two options for now, with a third being released later. The first class is the Shaman. The Shaman channels nature's elemental fury and can harness rage as a spellcaster, unifying his animalistic and magical tendencies.
To brzmi spoko.
By allocating Druidic Champion, you gain spell damage the angrier you
More
are.
spell damage.
And with Furious Wellspring, you generate rage continuously and can spend it to empower your spells.
O.
With the knowledge of the Asmerian Magi, the Shaman can harness untapped power from runes and idols. After allocating Wisdom of the Magi, you will notice that all runes and idols have extra mods only available to the Shaman.
O!
These new mods unlock countless new possibilities for
Ignite
enhancing your build.
Magnitude, kurwa.
You can also allocate Bringer of the Apocalypse, allowing you to become a walking natural disaster. After dealing enough elemental damage, storms of all elements rain around you, destroying all
No
who
i teraz
face
kurwa
nature's
główne
fury.
pytanie. Czy to jest
There are
na
other
internal
abilities for the
cooldownie?
Shaman, but I'll just show a few from
Bo
each
na
class for
Monku
now.
też był zajebisty kurwa skill
other
do
Druid
triggerowania w
ascendancy
trakcie
is the
krytowania,
Oracle.
chuj z cooldownem, nie?
The Oracle perfected the
I
power of foresight
zżerał
and
tyle many,
utilizes
że
this
kurwa
in
w jednej
combat to
lidze się
gain
tego nie
massive
dało grać,
advantage.
bo w chuj many zżerało, a w kolejnych jak
When taking
grałeś pod
Faithful
kryta,
Vision,
to kurwa
you'll see
się
visions of
okazywało,
your
że to
future self
internal
using
cooldown
specific
i
skills.
wcale nie było dobre.
If you decide to follow this path
Jak
by
się to
using the
nazywa?
skill
Elemental
itself,
Explosion
it will
chyba,
do
nie?
significantly more damage.
I to jest kurwa teraz tylko pytanie. Jaki to ma kurwa
And with
trigger?
converging paths, at a critical moment in battle when a monster is vulnerable to freeze, stun or electrocution,
Czy będzie
the
fan
Oracle
allowed
can
w
use
tej
Moment
lidze?
of Vulnerability to see a
Expression,
vision of
Elemental
the enemy's
Expression,
future,
no.
and then merge it with the current timeline,
Zobaczyłeś
allowing him to
Elemental
deal damage to
Expression,
both.
brzmiał fenomenalnie, gameplayowo wchodzić
And
się
one of my
okazuje, że
favorites,
chuja
when you
robi,
first
nie?
become an Oracle, you'll notice over 130 new extra passives
Oh!
appear in the Druid section of the tree. By allocating the Unseen Path, you use your power of foresight to learn from alternate futures and gain skills that would otherwise be unavailable to you. For example, self-sacrificing allows you to be able to summon more minions by reducing the spirit costs, with the trade-off of making your reservation skills cost more spirit.
Przerobili
Or
kurwa
Corruption Endures, which allows Oracles
sporą
to have a small
część
chance to
drzewka
avoid death.
tylko na jedną ascendancję?
Both the Druid Ascendancies offer interesting and unique ways to gain modifiers
Nie, jak
that no
chuj
other class can
wprowadzają
get.
ten.
So we're expecting a huge variety of build possibilities from these.
Muszą kurwa jakieś nowe
Now
jewele
there are unique
wprowadzać, które
talismans
też
for the
będą
Druid
to
to use
robić.
as well. Won't spoil
Nie
all of them,
spędziliby
but this
tyle
one was
kurwa
particularly
czasu.
cool.
130
Fury of the
pasywek
King
by
turns your
nie
bear
przerobili
form into a
tylko
fire
pod
demon,
kurwa druida.
converting most of your damage to fire. As a demon, you can also use Molten Crack,
Będzie jakiś jewel
a
nowy
jumping
kurwa
slam
unique.
attack that leaves fissures around you. This unique also continuously grants glory, allowing you to use your ultimate abilities more
Oby,
easily.
kopium kurwa.
Now, of course, the Druid isn't the only thing we're adding to 040. We still have a bunch more to show. Every new release, we create a new league with new mechanics, new pinnacle bosses, and
New
with a new
league
story
czy
to
new
tell.
league?
And this time is no exception. So let's roll the trailer for the fate of the Vaal.
Dawaj, let's go.
The palace of Queen Atziri. It is a ruin. But in
Nie,
the
to
dark,
dziwne by było, jakby taką...
machines still churn.
taki rework drzewka zrobili tylko pod jedną ascendancję, pod jedną notkę w ascendancji. O, to już jest trochę szybszy ten wilk. Ale mi wilk się nie podoba. Kurwa, to co pokazali?
Temple has many functions.
No ale to też kurwa bez żadnych statów.
A chance to save the Vaal.
Kurwa, nowa
A
mechanika
gateway through time.
budowania kurwa mapy.
Travel to the past. Again and again.
No, Inclusion 2.0.
Cover its secrets.
Ale zajebiste kurwa, że sobie układasz pokoje jak w roguelike'u.
You will be rewarded for your
Błagam, powiedz, że kurwa to nie jest do zrobienia ascendancji.
in the
Tylko faktycznie są z tego nagrody i można to farmić zamiast mapek. Błagam, kurwa, to jest rzeczy, które ja proszę od kurwa 3 lig. Żeby były inne mechaniki niż farmienie mapek do kurwa late game'u.
But you do not know it like I do. It adores me.
Oho. Ale fajny kurwa
Come
trailer.
now. Give unto me your
Trójkąt
desire.
Illuminati, kurwa.
At
Czas nam
last,
ucięli.
fulfill
Jesteście ostatnio
my
zmęczeni
soul.
cały czas? No, robisz sobie dungeona dosłownie.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, game
Błagam,
director
powiedz,
on
że
Path of
kurwa to
Exile.
jest...
In the
cała
fate of the
mechanika
Vaal
z tym
League,
połączona.
you will find remnants of the ancient Vaal civilization scattered throughout Rayclast. They seem to attract nearby creatures and affect them strangely. After killing them, the remnant appears to gain some amount of power, but not enough to fully activate it. It seems you will need to find 5 more of these arcane devices, and sacrifice the monsters you find there to fully activate one. But things don't always go to plan. These devices are old, and sometimes infected by corruption. Twisted
Zabijasz
versions of
moby na
ancient Vaal
tym?
may emerge,
W piątym?
and sometimes even stronger foes. On fully activating one of the devices, you finally discover its true purpose.
Okej. Piąty
A
se
portal
klikasz
opens and takes you deep underground to a
z
lost temple,
portalem. Okej.
once the home of Atziri, Queen of the Vaal. What treasures could still be inside? I think you're gonna want to find out. In front of the entrance is a console of some kind, and on activating it, you can see a map of the temple.
Jezu, jakie
Atziri's
zajebiste.
personal chambers are on the far
Robisz
side,
sobie kurwa
but how
mapkę.
could anyone get there? There are disconnected rooms,
Ale
and the layout
dojebane.
doesn't seem to make sense. And that's when you realize the purpose of the ancient devices scattered through Rayclast. The temple is powered by sacrifice, and this energy can be used to modify the very structure of the temple itself. Each time you run the temple, you will be given 6 rooms that you can place, allowing you to craft your own dungeon to explore. Place paths to link up the dungeon, and place rooms beside them full of precious loot.
Okej. I co teraz? Jak mu
After
się
you are happy with
skończyły?
your choices, open the temple and discover the results of your efforts. Each room contains different challenges along with its rewards.
Powiedz, że jeszcze
On
sobie
entering a
layout mniej
room,
więcej
the doors will
ustawiasz.
slam shut behind
I wiesz,
you
w jaką
and
stronę
you will
się
need to
teraz
face the
chodził.
encounter within. But choose wisely. It's important where you place the rooms to get maximum returns. For example, when placing a commander, you could just place it anywhere along an existing path.
Ale działa na
But
pokoju
a
obok.
much better strategy is to place it next to a garrison of troops for him to command. With better leadership, the garrison will level up, making the monsters harder, but also more rewarding.
Zajebiste.
Different rooms have
Jezu,
different requirements for
kurwa.
leveling up. For example,
Jak ja uwielbiam
if you
takie
want to
kurwa
fully level up
mechaniki.
a smithy, you will need to supply it with golems from an adjacent golem works, and hook up a generator to the power network to supply it with power. After doing so, the golems will be powered up, making them much more dangerous. You don't need to memorize what interacts with what. When selecting a room, you will be shown the locations that will make other
Zajebiste.
rooms level up, and exactly what effect it will have on the temple.
Od razu widzisz, że podnosi tier. Nice. Nie,
After
to mi
running
się
the
w chuj to
temple,
podoba.
a few of the rooms will destabilize and be removed. It will be up to you to rebuild the temple, adding 6 more rooms each time you come back, making the temple larger and larger and larger. So, that's the basic functionality of the temple.
Pytanie, czy będziesz
But
chciał
there is a
raszować do
lot more.
końca?
Once Doriani finds out about your travels to Lera Vaal, he will attempt to persuade you to take on a new mission. The temple entrance contains a prototype of the time portal device. It will be able to take you back in time, but only to one specific point.
Było coś jakieś w
Right
PoE1
before
podobnego?
Atziri triggered the cataclysm that destroyed the Vaal. He requests that you go back and attempt to stop Atziri to prevent the Vaal from ever being destroyed.
Syntezis trochę.
Adzeri is on the far side of the temple.
Kurwa, co jest z tym Twitchem, stary?
So you will need to expand the temple significantly to get to her. And even worse, her chambers can only be unlocked by a room that isn't currently accessible to you. In order to deal with that, you are going to need to visit the architect of the temple. To get to him, you will need to place path rooms. But while doing so, you will probably want to exploit some of the Vaal technology only available in the past. Once you can travel into the past, a whole new set of rooms are available to you, and they have some pretty insane rewards. At level 1, the corruption chamber can be used to corrupt a single item.
Nice.
But placing it next to a thaumaturge to run the place, and a sacrificial
korupty
chamber
będą
to
jakieś
provide soul energy, you'll be
unikalne?
able to
Czy
level
to
it
jest
up.
zwykły kobrat?
And it's
Korupt.
worth it. Because once you get the room to level 3, there are some very nice rewards to be had. In a level 3 corruption chamber, you will find this mysterious device. It has a slot to place an item, and it only accepts items that are already corrupted.
O!
What will happen
I
to
to
them?
będą unik korupty. No to
Well,
to jest to, co kurwa i
normally
kruży
once
ludzie
an item is
farmili, nie?
corrupted, you can't modify it any further. But this
Tylko dla
device
mnie
allows you to
Inclusion
corrupt your
było
item a second
zbyt
time,
skomplikowane.
adding another enchant.
Alfa właśnie, nie? To była i tam
This
były
has the capability to
konkretne
craft some
chyba,
very
tam były
powerful
unikalne
items
korupty.
indeed.
Nie, tam były
But be
double
warned.
korupty.
The Vaal are all about taking risks in the pursuit of power. There is a 50% chance that the item will be destroyed.
Kurwa. Ej, a w
Each
PoE
room has
2
its
są
own
już
interesting
jakieś
mechanics and
bardzo
rewards when it
unikalne
levels up.
korupty, takie jak w
Many of them
jedynce są
contain
na przykład,
bosses
że
to
nie wiem,
fight,
na headzie możesz, kurwa,
special
że
drops,
rezerwacja aur jest 90% tańsza jakiejś
And
konkretnej.
in many cases,
Tak jak się do Hex
new
Blasta
crafting
robi.
opportunities.
Są... O kurwa, ale
For example,
coś z
a
drzemami
level 3
unikalnego.
alchemy lab has a nasty Vaal
A
construct
mój
to
ulubiony
fight.
boss.
But if you can defeat it, you can find new corrupted soul cores.
Solkory
Like
koruptowane.
Guatalitsi's thesis, which on boots allows you to sacrifice your life to run faster. Or Sita Qualottl's thesis, which
Kurwa.
on gloves will revive one of your minions whenever an offering expires.
Oni dosłownie runy z Diablo wprowadzają
Get a
dwa.
sacrificial chamber to level 3,
Hajruny to
and
są,
you will need to
kurwa,
face a highborn priest of
z
sacrifice.
takimi bardzo kurwa
Defeat
konkretnymi
him to be
buffami
able to
mocnymi.
further corrupt a Vaal unique, modifying it in unpredictable ways. One of the mods
Zajebiste
of
te
this unique will be
solkory.
removed and replaced with another random mod.
Co tu było?
For example, this Soul Mantle. It gives you an additional totem, but lowers your totem's life and curses you when they die.
Okej, unikalne efekty.
By using the machine, this could result in a terrible item if you remove the good mod, but also some amazing items if you replace the downside.
O kurwa.
Now,
Poczekaj.
one extra thing to mention about these Vaal
Z
crafting
uników
machines.
można kurwa
You
downside
don't have to
ściągać?
take the items you want to craft into the temple. If you don't have the item you want to
Myślicie, że
craft with you at the time,
konkretne uniki
then clicking this
porozdzielają
button will
teraz
allow you to create a
na
currency
te
item instead, allowing you to do the craft later or
afiksy?
trade it if you want.
I na przykład Queen of the Forest ma teraz
Now there are
increase
all sorts
movement
of interesting
speed
rooms you can find in the temple, but the last one I want to show you
za
today
evasion, ale
is the Flesh
ściągnięcie
Surgeon.
movement speeda?
A
Kurwa.
Vaal Flesh Surgeon can be leveled up by placing him
Rozdzielą
next
to
to a
wtedy?
high-level synth flesh
I będziesz
layer.
mógł mieć na przykład Queenkę bez downside'u, kurwa z double speedem? Znaczy nie wiem jak Queen of the Forest, bo jaki ma
But
wording
be careful.
faktycznie.
The Flesh Surgeon has some rather unpleasant experiments in his personal lab. Afterwards, you might notice the surgery table just sitting there. The Vaal are great at crafting items. Why not do some crafting on yourself? After laying down, you'll be asked which limb you'd like to replace.
Ty,
Left arm,
bez
perhaps
kitu
your
Queenka
right
jest
leg.
rozdzielona.
Each limb
Other
can get a
modifiers to
different
movement
set of
speed do
random
not apply.
bonuses, so choose
To
wisely.
co, możesz sobie kurwa
After
zryć Queen
getting
of
up
the
from the
Forest
table, try out your new
i
limb.
mieć wszystkie movement
It seems
speedy
to
plus
work
bonus
fine,
movement speed
and even
evasion?
perform better than
Ale
your normal one.
dojebane.
Now, there is just one thing with replacing body parts. If you die and are resurrected, your body will return to its natural state.
Kurwa, ty, ale się nie
You
skupiłem na
might
tym
need to return
teraz.
to the Vaal Surgeons if you want another robot arm, and maybe get a better one next time.
Ej, kurwa, ale to
Some
może
rooms like the
fajnie
commander can
zwiększyć
give you a
ceny
new type
nieużywanych
of reward.
unikatów.
Medallions that can be
A
used
teraz
to
unikaty,
manipulate the
które
temple
miały
in other
jakiś
ways.
taki kurwa słaby downside, no to może być
Using a
całkowicie
Creeper
zrealizowany.
Lathal's medallion will allow you to artificially boost a room, even if it doesn't meet the normal requirements to level up. And a Huatalotli's medallion will stop rooms from destabilizing when you
Co to za
complete a
mechanika,
temple,
kurwa, bo nie
allowing you to
nadążam.
guarantee getting a reward a second time. Great if you want to stock up on
Co to
double
za mechanika
corrupts.
z ciałami? Siema Silverius,
Now,
dzięki za
with
42.
all that aside, time to face the Architect, and you will be in for a fight. Once defeated, you will find another console that can be used to modify the temple. But this one is special. It allows you to place new types of rooms with specific rewards. There are rooms with specific uniques, special runes, and currency.
Flat fire damage, kurwa, do...
But also a
Broni
few
tam było?
other,
Nie.
more niche crafting experiments.
Czekaj, kurwa, są
Like
runy
this
z
one,
flat
that can
damage'em?
extract the soccer balls back out of an item, at the
Takim,
cost of
kurwa,
destroying it.
innym? Bo tam były jakieś nierówne liczby. To nie była zwykła,
Now,
kurwa, runa
something
ognia,
really
nie?
important is every league we release a significant amount of content for the endgame. In order to make sure that the fate of the Vaal works well for late game players, we've added many mechanics to make sure that you can scale the difficulty and rewards to match.
Getting some rooms to level 3 adds extra mods to the entire dungeon, and these stack with each other. So in Endgame, when you can get some really big temples, you can generate a challenge that can even match the strongest of characters. We also start to introduce ways to store up energy for the temple, allowing you to save up many runs so you can do them later at your leisure, and
that's
not
fine
interrupt
then.
your mapping too often. Now in each league, it's important that we have a new pinnacle boss to test your character's might. In the Fate of the Vaal, you will get to face Adzeri while she was at the peak of her power. One of the rewards you will gain by defeating the Architect is the ability to place the Royal Access Chamber. Once connected to your temple, you can visit it to finally reach the Queen of the Vaal herself. This fight takes place at a critical moment in history, right as Adzeri communes with the beast's power and takes her true corrupted form. Now, we are not going to show you the whole fight, but we will tempt you with one of the rewards. This is Adzeri's rule. This staff gives additional levels to all of your corrupted gems and lets you trade life for extra damage. But in addition to that, while using the staff, mirrors of refraction will constantly appear on the battlefield. Any projectile you fire at these will split into a nova,
Ej,
and they can chain
jak
from
się
one to the
nazywa,
other.
kurwa,
So,
chest w
That's
jedynce
the
na
fate of the Vaal
koraptowane
League.
dżemy? Jego nie ma w dwójce
we
jeszcze,
are also
nie?
bringing the previous league, Rise of the Abyssal, into the core game,
Skinów coś tam
along
nie.
with a few changes.
Now, for those of you who haven't seen what happens when a league is over, it's important to understand that you will not
Skin
be
of the
seeing
Loyal.
abysses in every area anymore. Rise of the Abyssal is now one of the league mechanics that can show up randomly in
Ale
Endgame.
nie ma go w dwójce jeszcze, nie? Ciekawe,
If
czy
you want to
wprowadzą takie
specialize in
itemy.
running abysses,
Pod
there is now a
corrupted,
tablet that will
zbliżamy.
allow you to add them to any map you run. You can also
No ja bym
craft
nie
the
wprowadzili,
tablet
kurwa,
to add
jednego unika,
abyss-specific
bo
mods
corrupted
to
drzewo.
enhance how they function. Now that Abyss is core, it also needs its own Atlas tree.
Tylko no kurwa
You
tam
can gain your
fightem,
first
nie?
points by
Wkładasz
completing an Abyss,
uniki. Jakby to mogli kurwa rozegrać, nie
but there are
wiem.
more available for doing depths and killing certain bosses. And there are a bunch of different options. You might just want more monsters and bosses.
Tego ludzie
But
nie lubią.
you can also make
Że
finishing an
mechaniki są
abyss
tak
have a
porozdzielane po
chance to
klasie i
overrun a
osobno
nearby map
levelujesz.
with the abyssal. Or make your waystone modifiers also apply to abyssal depths. You could specialize in the interaction with other leagues, or specialize in a specific abyssal faction. One of the important elements that we have heard loud and clear is that needing to do abyss crafting on waystones is quite annoying. So, we have removed that. In fact, we have removed instilling from waystones as well. This mechanic felt mandatory on maps because it boosted the value
to
of
fajnie.
all other content. but it was both annoying to do and resulted in a lot of visual clutter. Instead, we are bringing back some of that power on tablets, which you don't need to craft nearly as
Jeszcze
often,
silniejsze
since
tablety.
they last for 10
Od
maps each.
0.3 jeszcze silniejsze.
Once you defeat the Arbiter of Ash,
No i kurwa fajnie,
you'll be
nie
able
masz
to upgrade tablets to a
5
rare with
różnych
4
wektorów,
mods
kurwa,
using regular
skalowania
codes.
siły map, tylko biorą to po prostu do
Even this
jednego
isn't
itemu,
enough
które
to
jest
fully bring back the
multiplayerem.
power you could have gotten from
Zajebiście.
instilling. So we have also buffed the bonuses that tablets give.
No i elo, kurwa.
Going forward,
I masz
we're
jeden
not
item
going
do
to be adding
buffowania. To
any
jest
more
super,
crafting
kurwa. To jest
directly to
bardzo dobra
waystones
zmiana.
outside of the basic currency,
Mapy są
because it
jak
adds too
najprostsze
much
do craftowania,
micromanagement.
jak tylko mogą być.
But
A
on
na
that
buildach
note,
robić
Fate of the
multum
Vaal
różnych
does
wektorów
bring the
nałożonych na
ability to
siebie.
corrupt your tablets,
To jest bardzo dobra
hoping
zmiana.
to get one of many different random outcomes. Now, with regard to Delirium Fog, even though you shouldn't have to have it on every map anymore, we still did want to make it less visually annoying. Delirium Fog has been toned down significantly,
No, bo kurwa
so you
Delirium
won't feel like
każdy
you're just
grał.
playing in a sea of grey.
No, to też super.
Another big source of problems in the endgame is the feeling of getting overwhelmed with monsters. In 031, we reduced the number of monsters in early endgame
Które
in order to
skaczą.
help with this,
O
but
nie,
still
w
scaled up the
early
number
game'ie
of
było ich
monsters to previous levels by the time you got to tier 15. Well, after letting this simmer for a while, we are still getting this kind of feedback. So we are no longer going to scale up the number of monsters you go as you get deeper into the endgame. Instead, we are scaling up the difficulty and rewards by the same amount. So to be clear, instead of increasing the number of monsters by 40%, they will instead drop 40% more items, grant 40% more
Czym mniej
experience,
itemów
and have
robią,
40% more life. In addition to
a
all the normal
silniejsze
scaling they
itemy.
get due to being higher level. This only applies to regular monsters, not bosses. We have also reduced the speed modifiers that
w
monsters
Diablo
can
kurwa
get
cały czas
sometimes,
próbują
which
zrobić,
also
żeby
helps a
było
lot with
więcej
this.
mobów. PoE musi zmniejszać
Now,
kurwa liczbę
we
mobów,
did
bo
have a
jest ich za
large amount of
dużo na
content for the
ekranie.
in-game plan for 040, but unfortunately we just didn't get time to finish it. The scope was a bit too large, and so we would need to wait until 050 for that. But rest assured, there will be a ton of upgrades for the existing leagues, as well as new pinnacle bosses, and a significant overhaul to the Atlas passive tree coming soon. Now, another problem that becomes a much bigger issue in the endgame is game performance. And we have done a lot of
Widz
work here.
napisał,
The
że gra
primary
potrzebuje
issue is
frame genu,
CPU load. And to address that, a lot of things have been
a
optimized.
to
And we
optymalizuje
have done a
gierkę.
lot of work to take advantage of more of your CPU cores. You should see frame rates of at least 25% higher, and a lot less bad frame spikes during gameplay. It does make quite a big difference, especially on consoles.
A po co ci 90
A lot
FPS
more work in this
ludzkiego,
area
to
is
60?
ongoing, and you will continue to see performance improvements over the next few months. Of course, another important area is game balance, and we have made a lot of changes.
Błagam, powiedz, że kurwa
Now,
klasy, co mają po
most of these we will
1%
save for the patch
grywalności,
notes, but I'll do a quick summary of some of the
mają
numbers.
jakieś kurwa buffy.
As well as adding 11 new unique items, we have
11
rebalanced
nowych uników.
dozens of others that are not currently used very often.
O, uniki
We've
zrebalansowane,
also done a
też
pass
super.
over lineage supports. 21 of them have been rebalanced, as well as adding 9 more. Alongside the 2 new Druid ascendancies, we have made balance changes to almost all the others, with some of them getting a grander rebalance, such as the Smith of Katava. Alongside the 20 plus new Druid skills, we've also rebalanced 90 other active skills
O,
across all the different classes.
kurwa, może...
And to top it all off, there are also over 250 new passive skills added to the passive tree. These changes should go a long way to
200
increase the
kurwa
viability
nowych?
of many more skills, uniques, and overall build variety that can tackle our most challenging content.
Oni w 0.4 już dodali
Next up,
nowe
we're going to be
pasywki,
talking about
bo
our new
problem
supporter
w
packs.
0.1, sorry, w 0.3
Today,
dodali.
we're launching 2 new series of
Bo
supporter
w
packs.
0.1, w 0.2
The
był taki
precursor
problem, że te
and
buildy były
Calderon
kurwa
packs.
identyczne niemalże, nie?
Each tier contains the pack's full face value in points, alongside
I
several
może
exclusive
będą dodatkowe
microtransactions.
kurwa przejścia,
As always,
ale
the
moim
microtransactions
zdaniem
in these packs
wprowadzenie
are purely
kurwa
cosmetic and
jakiegoś
do not affect
duela,
your
który
character's
otwiera
power
środek
or
drzewka,
progression
jest w tej
in any
grze
way.
wymagany. Brakuje
The
środka w tej grze.
precursor series of supporter packs contains 6 exclusive microtransactions.
Czemu oni cały czas kurwa seks
First up,
mówią?
the marble statue character effect.
200 na ich
finally stay
pasywek.
still
Nie,
for
no
a
kurwa,
moment,
no ale...
a podium rises
To
up out of the
jest
ground to
widoczne.
immortalize you,
Odpal sobie jakiś kurwa
turning your
build
skin
na
to
PoE
marble.
Ninja, odpal sobie hitmapę
When you next move, the stone
i kurwa
crumbles
zobacz,
around you.
że te wszystkie buildy są kurwa
The
identyczne
precursors had
praktycznie.
mastery over
Tam
gravity
jest tak
manipulation.
mało
So too
możliwości
can
do
you,
dostrojenia
now with
było
the
na przykład
Gravity Well
0.2.
portal. Witness the
W
power of its
0.3
pull as you
było
approach.
więcej,
Draw in enemies with your own gravitational pull.
ale
with
no
the
200
awakened
nowych,
precursor
no
armor
kurwa,
set.
może otworzyć kolejne przejścia, nie?
The precursors designed and built many
No, w
mysterious
0.1, w
ancient
0.2
beings. This one
to
used to serve as
najciekawsze
a scout
zmiany, jakie
that
mogły
would
się robić, to
patrol
były
and
unik
tase
jewelami,
intruders.
kurwa. Otwierając
Why
jakieś
salvage
kolejne
gear yourself
pierścienie, szukając
when the
takich
master
kurwa
of the forge
zmian.
can do it for you?
Nie no tak, 250
Molten
chyba
gold
powiedział, no.
spills out as the forge master breaks down your items.
A ile było wcześniej? 800? 900?
The relic of the precursors map
Bo to jest
device is
ogromny
a mysterious
procent tego, co
machine
było.
that sits atop ancient colossal
Ile było
statues.
pasywek?
It keeps track of the
Koło
number of
tysiaka,
charges
poniżej
consumed on your
tysiaka mi się
precursor
wydaje, że
tablets
było.
used in the device. The Kalgurin Pack series also contains 6 exclusive microtransactions.
No tak, no
The
były
Kalgurins had astounding
jedno
skill in
optyma...
astronomy,
1000 było, okej.
being able to track cosmic events with absolute precision. Harnessing that skill, with the astronomer's level up effect equipped, you too can now see exactly how long it took you to level up as it outputs the time in chat. The time taken to reach your last 3 levels is also displayed on the item, so you can link it when you have a time you're proud of. Crush unique enemies by unleashing the wrath of the lost Kalgurin fleet, led formerly by Captain Heartland himself.
Jezu, jak ja nienawidzę takich
A
efektów.
Kalgurin seafarer needs armor fit for the treacherous seas of Rayclast. This set has you covered with the classic tricorn and, of course, a peg leg. The Lost Treasure weapon skins top off your appearance of a true raider of the seas. These gilded weapons can be applied to wands, two-hand maces,
To nie
and
11 wodzi
shields.
tego samego dnia, co nowa Liga w PoE 2?
After a
Serio?
long day of plundering loot, retreat to the Kraken's
Yeah.
Cove hideout. A home of some of the most deadly, ocean-dwelling creatures in Rayclast. Many ships have met their demise here. What better to accompany you in Kraken's Cove than a kraken itself? Replace your stash with a dormant kraken, waiting for its prey. As you approach, it will awaken and terrify both you
Serio, kurwa,
and
to jest
any
tak
guests in your
wytajmowane?
hideout. Alongside this, an extra stash skin item will be granted
A
to
tam
you,
możliwe, że coś
and
będzie
when placed,
zrobione, nie?
will automatically open to any stash tab set with the currency affinity, to help
Fajny,
having to
kurwa.
navigate through your tabs.
Ile to kosztuje, to gówno?
Additionally, any
Ciekawe, czy będzie działać.
microtransactions from the supporter
Ostatnio
packs
dali
will
nowy-
be made available for use in Path of Exile 1.
Ostatnio dali nowy do portalu, który nie działał.
Thank you very much for all your ongoing support. We're just about to start the Q&A with Ziggy D. Afterwards, at 11 a.m. NZ time, we'll post the patch notes. With release at the end
Patch
of next
notes
week,
są
our
dzisiaj.
community team will be posting crucial information you'll need for the release. Keep an eye on the news. Thanks for
O,
joining us today and checking out our latest developments.
dobra,
We're
my nie
looking forward to
oglądamy
playing
tego, nie?
alongside our fellow shapeshifting exiles, all while uncovering lost
Te
Vaal
zmiany
secrets
zajebiste,
by
ale
doing
ja
some
jestem
dungeon
bardzo ciekawy
crafting.
patch notów, jak
We'll
wyglądają te
begin the
drzewka,
Q&A
kurwa,
shortly,
nowe, nie?
so please get your questions ready.
Dobra, tego nie... Nie, zmiany, kurwa, 250 stary nowych pasywek, budowanie tego... budowanie tego dungeona swojego, kurwa. Pytanie, mnie jedna rzecz ciekawi. Jak duże będzie natężenie wchodzenia do tego? Czy będzie można
Welcome
tym
back,
mniej
Exiles, to the
więcej
Q&A
jakoś
portion. I am-
zastąpić, kurwa, mapkowanie? No chyba nie. No pewnie, Zajw, kurwa, pewnie. No ale nie, super, kurwa, stary, super. Jest zadowolony jestem. No tylko, kurwa, żeby znowu nie było 30% graczy Dedajką grających, a drugie, kurwa, 30 na Druidzie i będę zadowolony, nie? Tylko mi balansowych zmian, kurwa, brakuje. Tylko i wyłącznie jednej, kurwa, rzeczy, nie? I ja jestem fajny totalnie z tym wtedy.